The world of Mass Effect is one of mystery and wonder, but also horror and death. For eons, the story of organic life in the Milky Way galaxy was one of civilizations rising up from the bounds of their planet, reaching out into the furthest stars, building civilizations that cross the breadth of the galaxy, only to suddenly and horrifically get snuffed out and join the ranks of their destroyers. In this video, I will look at those that came before, examining the known civilizations that rose before recorded galactic history, stopping at the Protheans. Information on pre-Prothean civilizations is unsurprisingly somewhat hard to come by. As longtime fans of Mass Effect already know, this is by design. The final stage of each Reaper harvest is, after all, for the Reapers to seek and destroy any evidence of a harvested civilization and the manner in which they ended. That said, some relics and information still slip through the cracks. The fact that some data on ancient civilizations persist is both remarkable in some ways, but predictable in others. Throughout a harvest, the Reapers can destroy millions of organic individuals and a comparable amount of data stores, relics, structures, and artifacts every single day. However, these numbers should not necessarily be thought of as constants. This can be explained in different ways, but let's take the analogy of cleaning up after a natural disaster. In the initial phase, you may begin by moving large chunks of debris with heavy equipment. Technically speaking, this counts for a large percentage removed in the initial sweep. As you progress, you'll begin to remove pieces that are smaller or more difficult to reach, which technically count for a smaller percentage of total debris, but take a comparable amount of time and effort to remove. As you engage in more sweeps, you'll uncover things that you missed previously, debris that became buried when you moved to larger pieces, etc. Even after you believe that you are finished with cleanup, you may still occasionally come across additional pieces in the future. Reaper harvest can be thought of along similar lines. The opening salvo of a Reaper invasion is completely devastating. Critical infrastructure lay in ruins, the flagships of a target organic race may be quickly disabled and destroyed, and any data sources not useful for the harvest are subject to termination. After the Reapers subdue the opposing defenses and pick up their harvest of the population in earnest, they can destroy any major structures easily enough with their weaponry, and theoretically can direct their indoctrinated thralls to perform more targeted sweeps. Finally, when the Reapers are done harvesting what they need from a planet, they can bombard the surface from orbit, destroy any remaining structures, along with the indoctrinated shock troops who so dutifully helped process their former comrades. Despite this apparently thorough process, it stands to reason that amidst the rubble, some artifacts remain. Again, this is best thought of not as a constant rate of destruction, but rather an exponential rate, one in which a roughly consistent percentage of the civilization's remains are destroyed, which approaches but never quite reaches zero. To quote Peter David in the novel Star Trek Vendetta, there's an old paradox that says if you're standing, say, a meter away from your destination, and then you travel only half that distance, and then half of that new distance, and half of that and so on, you'll never reach your destination. That you become infinitely closer, but never attain your goal. The Reapers may view some evidence of ancient civilizations as undesirable. If a future civilization finds evidence of a previous one, they will naturally wish to investigate what happened to their predecessors on the galactic stage. Depending on what they find, this could give them clues as to the Reapers' existence, their plans, and how to combat them. While said evidence is a concern, it is not necessarily a deal breaker. First, even if a future civilization finds relics from a past civilization, there is no guarantee that these would even come from the same time period as the civilization's harvest. Second, both the past and future peoples would likely have radically different languages, and translation would take a long time if it is even possible. Third, Even if said evidence persisted and was properly translated, tales of synthetic destroyers hailing from beyond the galaxy to consume and destroy all that is in its path may simply be dismissed as the superstitious tales of imaginative mortals relegated to the realms of mythology or crank conspiracy theories.
Ah yes, Reapers. The immortal race of sentient starships allegedly waiting in dark space. We have dismissed that claim.
Finally, part of a Reaper plan is the continued monitoring of a civilization's ascent to ensure that they reach a certain technological threshold but do not advance so far that they would pose a threat to the Reapers themselves. If a Reaper Sentinel tasked with observing this new civilization suspected a problem, they always have the option of kicking off the harvest slightly ahead of schedule. Indeed, the Reapers appear content to allow some evidence of past species to remain for future civilizations to discover. The Reapers specifically want organics to discover mass relay technology and progress in a certain manner so as best to serve as better specimens for future harvests.
Your civilization is based on the technology of the mass relays. Our technology. By using it, your society develops along the paths we desire.
This practical purpose, combined with the Reaper's overwhelming force in the face of any opposition, means that the Reapers do not view archaeological finds as a catastrophic event under all circumstances, as long as the archaeological evidence does not interfere with their plans. Thank you for tuning into this video. As you know, this is the introduction to my video on ancient civilizations of the Mass Effect universe. As always, feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoy these videos. Also, feel free to like and subscribe if you don't. Thanks for watching.